3D art, in my opinion, is probably the coolest discipline within the game dev world. We get to model dope assets, we get to texture them, we get to animate and basically create almost everything that the player sees while playing our games. It's awesome. But buried beneath all the cool assets and art that we get to make, there's a lot of boring and sometimes fairly confusing stuff that goes on in the background as well. In today's video, we're going to be looking at UV unwrapping, what it is, why it's necessary, how to UV unwrap in Blender, and some of the issues that you might run into when UV unwrapping your game assets. In order to UV unwrap, simply select your object, go into edit mode and press U, then hit Smart UV Project. That was a bad joke. So to partially answer the first question, what is a UV? To put it simply, on a 3D model, we have faces. Each side of this cube is a face, and each face from this cube has a corresponding UV tile. To give you an example, if I load in this image and project it to our cube's UVs, you will notice that this image is projected across our entire cube. If I move one of these tiles around, you'll see that it will change what part of the image is displayed on that UV tile's corresponding face. With this in mind, we have the ability to project pretty much anything that we want onto our objects. Simply just move the UV tiles around and you can display that part of the image straight onto the mesh. So how does UV unwrapping come into play? UV unwrapping is a method that we use to unpack our 3D mesh onto a 2D plane. If you've ever modeled something in Blender and you've gone to your UV tab, then you've probably seen something like this, a highly unorganized mess that you don't know what to do with and you have no idea how to fix. UV unwrapping in its most basic form is just organizing this mess. Now, it may look really intimidating, but trust me, it's easy as fuck. Now, I'm assuming we've all seen a cardboard box, right? Have you ever pulled one apart and just laid it flat on the floor? Congratulations, you've pretty much UV unwrapped something in real life. But imagine that this cube is real. You want to lay it flat on the table. In order to do so, you have to make cuts and incisions in certain areas along certain edges in order to achieve that. Now, this default cube in Blender comes perfectly unwrapped. If you were to lay it flat, this is pretty much exactly what it would look like. Each red line that you see on this cube is pretty much where a cut has been made in order to unfold this flat. If I select each of these red lines, you will see it selected the corresponding edges inside of our UV tab. Now, in the world of 3D art, we call this cut a scene. You can create a scene by selecting an edge, pressing U and selecting Create Scene. Now, when you go to UV Unwrap, Blender will take that marked scene into account. The idea is to strategically place seams around so that when you go to unwrap your model, Blender will be able to unwrap it neatly. But if you've marked your edges in the wrong way, your UV unwrap will yield a poor result, leading to UV stretching or overlapping. The trick is to just always imagine how you could cut your object up so you can lay it flat. Luckily, you don't have to unwrap your entire model into one large UV island. You can cut out an entire section by closing in a loop or marking a seam from a starting edge to a finishing edge. This will detach one UV island from another, allowing you to break your UVs down into smaller, more manageable sections. But once you have marked your seams, you can press U and select Unwrap Conformal. This will unwrap your model according to the edges that you've marked as a seam. A nice little trick to make this process easier is to go into edit mode and turn on UV sync selection. This will display your UVs even when your faces aren't selected. Then you can go to options and turn on live UV unwrap. Now, every time you make a seam, Blender will automatically update your UV unwrap based on the seam that you've just marked. You can also enable UV stretch under the overlays option so you can see how much your UV islands are stretching. This will help you unwrap your models more effectively, as well as just make it easier for you to see what seams you need to mark in real time. Now, this process can be tedious, and I normally only find myself UV unwrapping this way when I'm working with bigger, more geometrically complex objects. But if you press U while in edit mode, you'll see a list of, just a bunch of different UV unwrapping options at your disposal. You can unwrap with minimal stretch. As the name suggests, Blender will try and unwrap your model with the least amount of UV stretching as possible. This can work for some things, it might not work for others. When working with geometrically complex shapes, it's pretty usual to have some degree of UV stretching. So mark your seams in the best way that you can, and then use this option to minimize the amount of stretching that you will get when you're UV unwrapping. Smart UV Project is probably the easiest way to UV unwrap your models. Simply select it, press unwrap, and boom, you've unwrapped your fucking model in like 2 seconds. You can adjust the island margin before unwrapping it. This will just add a little bit of space between the islands. This helps prevent bleeding from one island to another. Now, this is a pretty solid way to unwrap. Other artists and myself use this on a pretty regular basis, but sometimes it's not always the best option, and I'll tell you why a bit later on. Cube projection is another option that I use on a pretty regular basis. It doesn't work for every scenario, but I tend to use it like this. I have a mesh that I intend to use as a wall. I'll load in my texture, unwrap using cube projection, and it'll unwrap my UVs as such. From here, I'll just move, rotate, and place UVs where I would like them in accordance to the image. This is a pretty fast way to unwrap cubes, and it's made my life very fucking easy. Sometimes it may place your UVs outside of the UV grid, simply enable scale to bounds to keep them on the inside. Project from view is another great option that you may find yourself using on a pretty regular basis. By selecting this option, it'll unwrap your mesh according to the angle that it is in your viewport. For example, I have this button. I can look at it from the top, project from view, and we'll get a nice clean unwrap for our mesh. You'll sometimes get some stretching, but over time, you'll learn what you can get away with and what you should go back and fix up a little bit. There's a couple of other options here. I don't really use them that much. Play around with them. If they work for you, great. If not, you can pretty much do everything that you need with the options that I've already given you. Now, we've covered what a UV is and how to unwrap, but let's look at the whys of UV unwrapping. Before moving on though, I'd like to give a quick shout out to Pizza Doggy. He's a friend of the channel who has provided me with an affiliate link to give you his humble bundle at a discounted price over on itch.io. He's an amazing PSX artist with a huge collection of assets, textures, and sounds. If you're looking for an asset pack to kickstart your next project, be sure to check him out and use my affiliate link so he knows that I sent you. As you've probably figured out by now, we use UV unwrapping as a means to project images onto our mesh, but that's kind of only half the story. If you've created any form of procedural materials for your objects, then you may have noticed that you don't actually need to UV unwrap. But if you plan to take that object over to, say, a game engine, the material is not going to come with it. The procedural material that you make inside a Blender or some other 3D software is only going to work inside the software that you've created it in. If you want to bring that material across into another program, you're going to have to do a step called baking. Baking is simply taking a material and saving it as a 2D image. Now, you can bake a material straight onto a 1024 by 1024 image and UV unwrap your model straight onto that. But if you've ever created a material that has things like edge wear or maybe rust in very specific places, then you'll want to bake out your material to fit your asset. By UV unwrapping your model, you can bake your textures out as either a PNG or JPEG image file. When you export a model as a .fbx or a .glb, your UV data gets stored inside of that file, and then the game engine can read that data and correctly map your texture image onto your mesh. I have a couple of ending notes that I couldn't really squeeze anywhere else into the video, so I'm just going to go through them now quickly. Number one is Smart UV Unwrapping. Smart UV Unwrapping is a great option that you'll likely use a lot, but it's not always the best way to go about things. If you plan to use trim sheets or texture atlases, you will want to have total control over your UVs. Smart UV Unwrapping isn't necessarily going to give you that control. Smart Unwrap can be a good starting point for that though. Just remember you can select a UV face and press Y to detach it from the rest of that island, then move it into place, resize it, rotate it, whatever you need to do. Smart UV will create a lot of seams, so depending on your texturing method, you may want to avoid that just to prevent any sort of inconsistencies in your textures. Packing UVs too tightly can lead to bleeding and cause a variety of problems for your textures and artifacts in game engines, so make sure that you're leaving some space between your islands. Point number two is avoiding seams. Sometimes when you're using images to texture your assets, you will get these seams here and there where the textures just don't line up. A lot of the time this is pretty unavoidable, but this is where strategic seam marking comes into play. Try marking edges that aren't visible or that won't be in view of the player or camera shot. If you pay attention to like a lot of AAA games, you're still going to see seams everywhere. Just try and be smart about where you put them. Point number three is adding a UV grid. You can add a UV grid to your object by creating a new material, adding an image texture node, and create a new texture with the UV grid applied. This will give you a visual indicator of what your UV flow looks like and if there's any stretching or areas that need attention. Number four is UV stretching. Something that you'll want to try and avoid is UV stretching. but at the same time, sometimes it is kind of necessary. If your UVs are stretched, it can cause your textures to behave in ways that you kind of don't really want. But sometimes you need to UV unwrap in very specific ways in a manner that is just going to lead your UVs to stretch. You can get away with it sometimes if it isn't too extreme. You're naturally going to learn what you can and can't get away with. Just test things out. If it doesn't work, go back and fix it, you know? And point number 5. I feel like I've said number 5 already. It doesn't need to be perfect. In my experience, UV unwrapping is one of those jobs where it's normally, good enough. If it works and looks good, then you've probably done your job correctly. Every artist likes their models to be unwrapped in their own little way. Just if you're working with another artist to do some texturing, just ask them how they want it to be unwrapped and you'll be pretty safe. Anyway, that about wraps up this video. Here is some art of the week where people in my Discord community post their art to get featured at the end of these videos. I'll leave a link to my Discord in the description if you want to come join. I'll leave a link to my Patreon if you want to support me. There will also be an affiliate link to Pizza Doggy's Humble Bundle Asset Pack. I think that pretty much covers everything. Thanks for watching. Bye.